Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you during the ninth inning of a 4-3 Rangers ball game. Rangers, of course, team that are ahead right now. 2 outs, Kirby Yates on in the top of the ninth. 1-1 count. Yates just threw ball 2. We're going to try and finish this one out with you guys here right on Rangers. We cover everything sports, but we put a little bit of an extra emphasis on all the teams we love from the great state of Texas, including the Rangers, and especially the Rangers during baseball season. Rangers lead 4-3 in the top of the ninth. Kirby Yates, comebacker, knocks it down with his glove, and that will do it. The Texas Rangers win this one 4-3 and get a series win. Man, did the Rangers need a series win after dropping the last 2 against the Padres. The Rangers come out, win the first 2 games of their series with the Tampa Bay Rays to round out this homestand. Game 3 of the series will be tomorrow. Rangers will go for a sweep. Marcus Semien, the big hero today. Marcus Semien with a clutch 2-out, 2-run home run that ultimately won this game for the Texas Rangers. What a fun game. It was not looking good there for a second, y'all. And we are going to get into everything here in just a little bit. All of the scoring, the highlights, the key moments in the game, the lowlights. And there was a pretty big one in the top of the 7th inning. We're going to get into everything here in just a little bit. But I want to say a special thank you to everyone joining us, whether you're watching live or whether you are watching on the replay. A lot of different Texas Rangers content out there. Thank you for choosing Right on Rangers. If you're not following the account, not subscribed to the channel yet, would really appreciate it. That way you can keep up with all of our latest and greatest content, however you may be watching, whether it's on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you so much for your support. Let's go ahead and let's get right into it. So this game, once again, kind of like I said last night on the live, just was very prototypical Texas Rangers winning formula today, minus the 7th inning. Rangers get out to an early lead, 2-0 after the 3rd inning. And that 2-0 score pretty much held up until the top of the 7th. So if you didn't watch the game or you didn't watch the early innings, Andrew Knizner drove in the first run of the game. Kind of a little bit of a lucky RBI, a fortunate RBI, but we'll take it, especially coming from Andrew Knizner. Not necessarily an offensive juggernaut at the backup catcher position this year. I think he's still hitting under $150 on the season. We'll take the RBI. We will not complain too much on the heels of a Rangers win. We'll take the Knizner RBI that put the Rangers up 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Nate Lowe, bottom of the 3rd inning. Just like yesterday, Nate Lowe had an RBI single in the 3rd inning yesterday. He singles and drives in Marcus Semien. Rangers were not able to get anything else out of that bottom of the 3rd inning. It was actually a really big missed opportunity. The Rangers had 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Seager and Semien led off the inning, got on base. It was 2nd and 3rd, nobody out for Nate Lowe. Nate Lowe gets the single that ends up making it a 2-0 ball game. Rangers aren't able to get anything else across in that bottom of the 3rd inning. And we definitely want to dwell on the positives today. Huge comeback win. The Rangers don't give us many of these. When the Rangers are down in the 7th inning or later, it's normally a death sentence. But today, they got a huge clutch home run from second baseman, from all-star second baseman Marcus Semien, that ultimately served as the game-winning RBI and gave the Rangers the win in this one. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead. Let's check some comments real quick. Hey, what's up, my guy? Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get things rolling here. John, thanks for tuning in today. Marcus with the clutch homer for the win. I think Latz needs to be benched. Dude is pure gasoline when he comes into the game. Not in a good way, right? Not in a good way. So, John, I'm going to get to your comments on Latz here in just a little bit. By the way, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Landon, appreciate you. And let me go ahead and get right back to where I left off here. So Rangers not able to tack on in the bottom of the third. Adolis Garcia 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. Is it ever going to be okay to move him down in the lineup? I'm just throwing that out there. Are we ever going to be okay? And when I say we, I mean Bruce Bochy. Are we ever going to move Adolis Garcia down? 5 spot, 6 spot. Dude is just not right now, and I don't know if it's coming. I just don't know if it's coming. I don't know if it's a pride thing, an ego thing with Dolly, but I do not know why they refuse to move him down into the lineup. I don't know why. I need to see somebody else in that 4 spot, I think, at this point. I have no attachment to Dolly at the 4 spot. Let's speak some truth into existence about Adolis Garcia right now. And we love Dolly for everything he accomplished last year. Not saying you need to bench Dolly. Adolis Garcia is hitting 191 in his last 30 games. In his last 7 games, he's hitting 192. It gets a little more respectable if you look at the last 15, but Adolis Garcia needs to get moved down. I mean, it's not a complicated decision. If Dolly catches fire, the 4 spot is always there. The 4 spot in the lineup is not going anywhere. He can move back there, but right now, I don't know how you can continue to hit Adolis Garcia 4th. And we want to dwell on the positives today, y'all. It's 2 back-to-back wins. It's a series win. But the Rangers were fortunate to win this game. This was not a game that I sit back and say, the Rangers, just absolutely dominated this one. Of course, they should have won. The Rangers were fortunate to win this ball game. They got a huge swing from Marcus Semien, and easily could have lost without that hit. In fact, not sure they would have won without Simmy coming up clutch. I don't feel like the Rangers deserve to win this ball game. That's just me. I feel the Rangers were lucky to win this ball game. And Marcus Semien came in with a huge clutch home run that I can't say I sat there and expected. I didn't think Simmy was going to whiff and just completely blow it up there, but I was not expecting 2-run bomb to win the game. I think that the Rangers today won in spite of some bad coaching decisions. The decision to bring in Jacob Latz, to me, is just unfathomable, going back to John's point. And Latz has been good, and let's get specific. He's been good up until the Brewers game. Latz has been good up until that Brewers game. He was doing great. But we got to be real. He recently, meaning over a week and a half ago, he hasn't been good in about a week and a half. So recently, I don't know. Recently is really that revealing. He hasn't been good since the Milwaukee game, where he got the grand slam hit off him. And you've got to make adjustments with new information. And the new information is he hasn't been good lately. So why are you bringing him in to close ball games? It's a 2-run ball game. I do not care that it was lefty-lefty. I don't care at all. It was a crime, coaching malpractice, to bring Latz into this ball game. I don't really question Bruce Bochy a ton, but that was a head-scratcher move for me. And Marcus Semien bailed out both Latz and Bochy today. Let's just call it like it is. There's no way around it. There was no reason that Latz needed to be in this game or even close to this game. He nearly blew the game last night. David Robertson came in, bailed him out, and he didn't need to be anywhere in this game at all. He could have been in the showers for all I care. You did not need Latz anywhere near this ball game. I do not even want to hear the explanation. Well, I can already tell you what Bochy's going to say. Well, we're trying to get the lefty-lefty. He's been good for us all year long. We just... Blah, blah, blah. Dude, that's what Bochy's going to say if anybody actually asks him about it. I don't want to see Latz near a 2 or 3-run or 1-run or tie game. Latz should be coming in when it's a 3-run deficit or more, or a 3-run, maybe a 4-run lead or more. I would feel comfortable with Latz coming in. If the game is within 3 runs either way, I don't want to see Jacob Latz right now. And the Rangers, I think, do him a disservice. The Rangers are doing Jacob Latz a disservice by continuing to bring him in these close games and continuing to let him fail in these close games. Jacob Latz needs to come in with less pressure, build the confidence back up, and work him back into these close game situations. I think they are doing him a huge disservice by continuing to bring him into these close games, crossing their fingers and hoping that he has a good outing. Bring him in with low pressure, 4-run lead, 4-run deficit, or greater. If it's not a 4-run lead or a 4-run deficit, I don't want to see him in the game. He's failed probably, 3 or 4 times in a row since the Milwaukee game to have a good outing. I get that he's the only left-handed guy we got. That doesn't mean you got to throw him. It just doesn't. You don't have to throw Jacob Latz just because there's a couple lefties coming up. There are some righties in this bullpen that can get lefties out. I don't want to see Jacob Latz. I thought that was a terrible coaching decision. It nearly cost us the game today. It should have cost us the game, if not for Marcus Semien bailing us out. So Dolly and Jacob Latz, those are the two things that I just scratch my head about. Why they continue to stubbornly pencil in Dolly to the 4 spot every single game without fail, regardless of how he's going, and why they're continuing to use Jacob Latz in close ball games with how he's been going lately. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm glad that it didn't cost the Rangers today, but we need to get the negative out of the way so we can just lock in on the good stuff from this game. I really hope that the Rangers start doing something different in those 2 areas. I don't want to see Jacob Latz in a close game for a while, and I want to see them start moving Dolly down in the lineup. The at-bats today were ugly. Yeah, I totally agree with this comment. There was no discipline at the plate today for Dolly. Dolly comes up in the bottom of the 3rd inning with a chance to tack on, hits a fly ball that's shallow, can't drive in a run. Of course, you had Seager on 3rd base. You needed a ball that was pretty close to the track, I would say, in order to get that happening. So at this point, I really, really feel like you've got to move him down, and maybe it lights a fire under him and you get a different result. But Dolly is killing us from the 4 spot. It's not the first time that he's come up with opportunities to drive in runs and just has either struck out or had 0 productive outs. For me, I've got to see Dolly move down in the lineup. And you know what? He'll probably catch fire at some point, and then you'll get people coming back. See, you just had to stay the course. He was going to get hot. That's what everybody does. You know, whenever you criticize Rangers players, there's always going to be fans when they have 1 good game or 2 good games that are going to come back and tell you that you never should have been cutting them down. Dolly's hitting under 200 over his last 30 games. It is more than fair to critique Dolly's plate performance at this point. It's more than fair. Don't let any Rangers fan tell you differently. If a guy's hitting under 200 his last 30 games, it's okay to suggest maybe we should try something different here. I mean, I'm all good with Wyatt Langford at this point hitting 4th. I know that I said about a week ago, don't move Langford up in the lineup. It's too much pressure. I think at this point, you're doing a disservice to the entire team by continuing to hit Dolly 4th. Move Langford up, and hopefully something good can happen. Let me keep going on comments here. Andrew Heaney, we're going to get to him in a moment. Nearly wasted a great performance from him. I'm glad that it wasn't in vain, but Andrew Heaney deserves way better than what the Rangers are giving him right now. Way, way better. 100%. I'm going to come back to Dolly in just a little bit here. Let me get to this comment. Adolis says, reminding me of Juan Gonzalez when pitchers figured him out. Low and away was a strikeout every time, sadly. I do remember the Juan Gon years. I was probably in grade school at that time, aging myself a little bit here. Juan Gonzalez, loved watching him play. I remember going to some spring training games for the Rangers down in Arizona. way back when. And Juan Gonzalez was fun to watch. But Juan Gonzalez is absolutely a great comparison, I think, for how Dolly is playing right now. There is definitely a book out on Dolly, and it is make it look tempting, low and away, and you're pretty much getting a swing and miss every time. And Dolly can't adjust, and it's on him to make adjustments, and he's not adjusting. So that's why you've got to do something different. Our cleanup hitter cannot be hitting a $190 with us trying to make the playoffs, trying to stay relevant. I don't know when they're going to make the move, but it needs to happen. And I'm sorry, it's not just a day off thing for me. They've tried the day off thing with Dolly. They've tried it. It hasn't worked. They need to consider making a move. Adolis can hit 5th. He can hit 6th. It's okay. Last year was last year. You've got new information. Adolis is not hitting this year. Move him down. And if he starts hitting better, great. Consider a move back up. And if he continues to toil, you've got him at the right spot in the lineup towards the end. There are guys that could be doing better and producing more from the 4th spot than Dolly is right now. It's sad to talk about because Dolly was a freaking legend last year in the playoffs. Absolute legend. Nobody's taking that away. Nobody is not supporting Adolis Garcia. I don't see anybody in the chat saying bench the dude and send him off. We're all saying the same thing. Move him down a little bit in the lineup. See what happens. But expecting him to just suddenly break out of it, I don't know. I think that's foolishness. I really do. So Bruce Bochy, I think he's got some decisions to make. And I think Bruce Bochy is a great coach. One of the best top 5 coaches in the game. I would put Boch up there. Not many coaches have done what Bruce Bochy has done. But even the best coaches don't always make the right decisions. I don't think it's the right decision to keep Dolly hitting cleanup with how he's hitting right now. I think anybody can see the guy struggling up at the plate. I think anybody can see probably not going to just swing his way out of this one. Take some pressure off him, move him down, and hopefully you get something better out of him right now. It can't be a whole lot worse. The contract in the offseason. Look, I was a big proponent. I got to be honest. Where I was right, where I was wrong. I said that the Rangers should stop messing around with Adolis Garcia. Wasn't saying multi-year, 5-year deal, but I thought the Rangers should scuffle a little bit less with Adolis in the offseason. Chris Young's looking real good right now. Negotiating that contract. It's a pretty minimal contract, and they got the 2 years taken care of. I think it's a really smart idea. Now, maybe you're saying CY wasn't smart because he did the 2-year deal with Dolly. Maybe you should have just gone year to year. I don't think Dolly would be making the same amount of money next year as he is making currently with the 2-year deal that got worked out. So look, I don't know. Maybe you're saying good on CY for not doing the big deal, but maybe at the same time you're saying they should have gone year to year with him. Right now, before this offseason, Dolly's in the midst of a 2-year contract. So you can't pay him any less next year. And he probably would have made significantly less next year in arbitration, considering what he's done this year. So it's all how you look at it. It's all your perspective. But Adolis would probably be making significantly less than what he's making in 2025 with what he and his agent were able to negotiate with Chris Young in the front office. So I think you say glass half full. I'm glad he's not under contract for 3-4 more years. I'm glad that it's basically 2 more years and we'll see what happens from there. But there's time for Dolly to turn it around. He's got to adjust to that low and away pitch, off-speed pitch usually. That's not a strike. And until he does, it's not going to go well for him. It's just not. All right, y'all. Let's talk about a few other things. Keep the comments coming. Keep the questions coming. You want to get something off your chest like I do almost every show, do it. Put it in the comments. We'll get it up there. We'll talk about it. We're going to keep on rolling. We're going to do some box score stuff now. Kind of shied away from that a little bit for the first part of the show, but let's get into the box score here. So Marcus Semien, 1 for 3 with the walk. I said a couple days ago, I felt like the off day would be good for him. He responded really well in the series after his off day earlier in the season. That was in the middle of the Diamondback series, which we swept. And so far, Simmy having a nice series. He is, I believe, 2 for 7 with a walk, 2 RBI, home run. You'll take that from Marcus Semien with the slump that he was having. Marcus Semien, the hero of the game. Hero of the game. He bailed out Bruce Bochy. He bailed out Jacob Latz and really preserved a absolutely outstanding start from Andrew Heaney. Heendog has been out of this world for us. If you're just considering what was expected coming into the 2024 season out of Andrew Heaney, I think you would be overjoyed, elated, if you were told that Andrew Heaney was going to have a 3.80 ERA for you 89 games into the season. Andrew Heaney was supposed to be a 4th or 5th starter for the Rangers this year. 3.80 ERA, that's like number 2, number 3 starter stats right there. Andrew Heaney has been incredible, a godsend for this Rangers rotation. Andrew Heaney in his last 7 games has a 2.95 ERA. He has 46 strikeouts and nearly 40 innings pitched. You've got to give Andrew Heaney his flowers. There's a lot of Andrew Heaney haters out there. A lot of people, I've seen it, just knocking on the guy for only being able to go through 4 or 5 innings. And look, Andrew Heaney, he's not going to give you length every time. He's not. But Andrew Heaney today goes 5 1/3, gives up 0, 3 hits, 2 walks. So you're talking about more than 5 innings pitched and 5 base runners allowed, 7 Ks. I just don't understand how you can knock on Andrew Heaney at all. This guy is not and was not expected to be a number 1 or number 2 guy in this rotation. You're happy if you get a 4.50 ERA out of your 4th or 5th starter. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Your 4th or 5th starter, if they're giving you a 4.50 ERA, you're thrilled. I mean, this 3.80 stuff that Heaney's given us, this is number 2, number 3 starter material right there. Not everybody, not every pitcher on your staff is going to have a sub 3.50 ERA. You're lucky if you got one guy that's sub 3, and maybe if you got another guy that's sub 3.50, you're having a great season from a pitching staff perspective. So to have a 4th or 5th starter at a 3.80 ERA, give the man his respect. Andrew Heaney is going to get paid next year at this rate. I hope that the Rangers can work out something with him because I love Heendog. I think he has been a great pitcher, a great weapon for us, underappreciated. I would love if he could stay in a Rangers uniform, but if the man keeps pitching this way, somebody is going to pay him to be a number 2 or number 3 starter in the rotation. I don't know if it's going to be Texas. I'd imagine that Andrew Heaney's enjoyed his time here. I think most guys do, especially with this crew and the success they've had. But if Andrew Heaney keeps pitching this way, the man is going to get a contract next year. I mean, Jordan Montgomery's getting $50 million over the next 2 years. Andrew Heaney, I don't think is going to get $50 million over 2 years, but he's working his way towards a $15 to $20 million annual average. I mean, I think he has just been an incredible guy for the Rangers in the rotation this year. So let's give Andrew Heaney some love. He pitched outstanding today. Now, going back to the comments here, I'll keep on flipping back and forth. Can we talk about us getting thrown out by Pudge Rodriguez Incarnate 3 or 4 times in this series already? Look, Kisner is not a guy that has really thrown out anybody this year. I think Andrew Kisner has thrown out 1 base runner, and I'm not exaggerating. I think Andrew Kisner has thrown out 1 base runner all year long. And Jonah Heim, his numbers are not great when it comes to throwing out base runners this year. I don't think our pitching staff is the best at holding guys on. I think we've got a lot of guys just considering like the pitch clock and everything that are just uncomfortable holding guys on. And so I don't blame our catchers exclusively. I don't think Andrew Kisner is great at throwing guys out as it is. I think Jonah Heim is a step above Kisner in that area. But it is frustrating to watch our catchers continually not be able to throw guys out. And with 89 games played, okay, let's go with the pitchers are terrible at holding guys on. How have you not made an adjustment after 89 games? So it's somebody's fault. And at this point, I probably blame the pitchers more. But at this point, the coach has got to step up and get these guys right. You have got to hold runners on better. I don't even want to know what the Rangers' percentage is at throwing guys out. It's not good. It's ugly. And it's just going to make me upset. I don't even want to know. But when you're watching the Rays catcher throw out pretty much everybody, you are sitting around saying to yourself, why can't we have this? Why can't we even throw runners out at a 25% clip? I don't even want to know. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. I'm just going to get over it. Let me see what Jonah Heim is doing in terms of throwing guys out this year. Let's see what they got. Looks like on MLB, they're not going to show it to me. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of a dive here while I'm going to try and figure it out. If one of y'all can look up the stats on Jonah Heim and beat me to it, I greatly appreciate it. But let's see if I can figure it out. The numbers aren't going to be good, though, y'all. They're just not. So let me see here. Let me get my keyboard over here. Jonah Heim defensive stats. That should do the trick. Hopefully we can pull it up relatively quickly and get that information to y'all while we go through it. Let's see here. Baseball ref should have it. It's not going to be pretty. It's just not. Let me see fielding stats here. Standard fielding. Caught stealing percentage, 15%. 15%. So 10 caught stealings, 55 stolen bases. So Jonah Heim is 55 for 65. People are 55 for 65 against Heim. So that's terrible. I mean, that's just terrible. I know they've done some things to help, the runners and make it more advantageous to steal. But teams have stolen 55 bases in 65 attempts against Jonah Heim this year. It's a 15% clip. That's terrible. And look, we can't blame Jonah. Jonah's a Gold Glove catcher. I'm going to give that man the benefit of the doubt all day long. He's a Gold Glove catcher. He didn't suddenly just become terrible behind the dish. But 55 stolen bases in 65 attempts? That is ugly. And you know what? Those are the little things that are going to get us beat in big games. You know that there are other teams looking at that. Wow, 15% caught stealing? I mean, I'm just licking my chops as an opponent. And I do think, look, and I've acknowledged this, in fairness to Heim, the pitchers have been terrible holding guys on. But let's give some blame to the coaching staff. I mean, you're not doing anything to help these guys. So there's either one of two things. Either the coaches are working their butts off and our pitchers just still suck, or the coaches aren't doing enough to help our pitching staff adequately hold on base runners. It's going to be something that is going to come back to bite us in big games if we can't figure it out. Gio, what's up? Thanks for tuning in, bud. Appreciate the comment as always. Thank you. Ranger sweep would be huge because that puts you on track with the 8-4 record that I said the Rangers have to go 8-4. And after losing the 2 games, 8-4 before the All-Star break, right? Going into it. The Rangers dropped 2 out of 3 to the Padres. They needed to go 7-2 over their next 9 games. Right now, the Rangers need to go 5-2. 5-2 over their next 7 games. It's doable. 5-2 is a lot more doable than 7-2 was. 7-2 seemed like a long shot over their next 9, including this Rays series. You got the Angels next. You got the Astros after that. 7-2 seemed like a tall order. I'll take, though, first 2 games, now 5-2. I think the Rangers could go 5-2 over their next 7 games. Now, it would go a long way to sweep the Rays and to take at least 2 out of 3 from the Angels. If you can go into LA and sweep, look, get 1 out of 3 in Houston. That would be super ideal. Look, of course, we want to win the series in Houston. That's not going to be an easy series. It's not. Can we steal 2 out of 3? Absolutely. Absolutely, we can. But I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know when Evo is throwing next. I would imagine that Evo is going to be throwing, probably on Monday in Anaheim. Are we going to get one more start out of Evo in Houston? I sure hope so. The way things line up, Evo started Tuesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series. Evo started on Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 4 days would be Sunday. I don't know. We'll have to see how things line up. I think we might be able to squeeze in an Evo start against Houston. That would be huge. That would be absolutely huge. So we'll see how the Rangers fare. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We got the Angels before Houston, but just doing a little bit of an outlook here. The Rangers are on track to do that 8-4 record that we talked about for the last 2 weeks going into the All-Star break. They can do it. Sweeping the Rays would be absolutely huge. It just takes some pressure off the team, because if you were to drop another series after that Padres, it would have just been a big uphill battle for the Rangers. Staying relevant in the playoff hunt, staying relevant at the trade deadline, it would have been a big uphill battle. I think even just winning this series, you give yourself a chance. If the Rangers do drop the game tomorrow, it's not the end of the world, but you want to get that sweep tomorrow. You 100% want to get the sweep tomorrow against the Rays. And we'll come back to the game a little bit today. Couple more points for us to make, but tomorrow the Rays will have Evo to deal with. So Evo is your starting pitcher tomorrow. I am glad Nate Eovaldi is on the mound going for a sweep. Littell, is that how you say it? Littell throwing for the Rays. He has a 3.94 ERA, 4.75 ERA in his last 7 games. He is coming off of a scoreless outing against the Royals. So last 3 games look pretty good for Littell. We'll see what happens. He is a righty, so we're not going up against the lefty tomorrow. But look, I'll take my chances with Evo on the bump. So love seeing Evo on the bump. Hopefully that works out for a sweep tomorrow. Then you go to Anaheim, and you've got a chance to do something special there. If you sweep tomorrow, you can go 2 out of 3 in Anaheim, 2 out of 3 in Houston, or you could even go sweep in Anaheim, 1 out of 3 in Houston, and it's a successful week. I'd love to see the Rangers go into the All-Star break on a positive note, but right now, I would just love to see a sweep and then go into next week with a lot of momentum against the Angels. Let me see here. Rengifo on the 10-day IL for Anaheim. They're going backward. They're on a losing streak right now, are they not? I'm pretty sure I saw they were on a 5-game losing streak. Is that still standing? Is that still holding? Today, let's see what their 7-0 win today. So they broke the losing streak today. Angels were playing the Cubs. So, look, they're still not playing great baseball over their last 6-7 days. With a sweep over the Rays, even with the series win, we need to go into Anaheim and win some ball games. It would be nice to sweep either the Rays or the Angels. Or both. I don't want to get greedy. I do not want to get greedy. But that would be huge. If the Rangers are able to sweep the Rays and then go to Anaheim and sweep, that would be absolutely huge. Then you go into Houston, and if you can just get 1. I mean, if you can get 2 out of 3 in Houston, I'd be overjoyed. If we can just take 1 in Houston after sweeping the Rays and the Angels, man, would that be ideal for this team, their confidence, and just for the long-term prospects of making the playoffs, being relevant at the trade deadline, all that stuff. Like I said, I don't even think the Rangers at this point necessarily need to go out and get somebody at the deadline. I think right now, if they do go get something, go get a right-handed power bat, and it doesn't even have to be a first baseman. Just get somebody right-handed that can hit for power. But I'm just hoping for the Rangers to not trade off people at the deadline and just stay the course. And if you play well before the All-Star break, it goes a long way into that. All right, let's put a bow on this game from today, which was a huge Rangers win, comeback win. You just do not see this team win ball games in the 7th inning or later when they're down. I think this was only the third or fourth game where the Rangers have won after trailing in the 7th inning or later. It's just not often the Rangers do this. So you got to cherish it. But let's talk about the bullpen after Jacob Latz. So Jacob Latz gets credited with a blown save. We made it very clear for those of y'all that are tuning in after the fact, I don't want to see Jacob Latz within 2 or 3 runs, losing or winning, until he gets some confidence back. And I hope that they can bring him into some low pressure situations over the next 4 games, get him some confidence back, and then reassert him into a role where we're looking for him to get lefties out in big moments. But let's give some credit to Jonathan Hernandez, who came in, cleaned up the Latz mess, and then Robertson and Yates doing their thing. I think I would have loved to have seen Jonathan Hernandez come in and handle the 7th inning. I think he has pitched well enough, Jonathan Hernandez has, over his last 7 games, over his last 10 games, that he is worthy of getting a chance at the 7th inning. Jonathan Hernandez, over his last 15 games, 381 average, 381 ERA, excuse me. And he's pitched well. His last 2 games, 2 1/3 innings pitched, no earned runs. I mean, I think Jonathan Hernandez and Jose Leclerc need to get their shot at the 7th inning exclusively, and we'll see what happens. But the Rangers, they technically lose the 7th inning today, 3-2, right? Yandy Diaz hits the 3-run bomb off Latz, but they need to shore something up. And I think Jonathan Hernandez might be a guy that they can potentially try and go to there. I think his stuff is good enough to be a late inning guy. Can he just be consistent? I think Leclerc can be another guy that comes in there and shuts down in the 7th inning. He's been a little inconsistent, but at this point, I think Jacob Latz, the 7th inning Jacob Latz experiment with a lead or with a deficit of 1, 2, 3 runs needs to come to an end. I do. Hey, appreciate the comment here. I agree. They need a week's worth of wins. If they can sweep the Rays and then go into Anaheim and either win or sweep that series, that would just go a long, long way. It really, really would. I really hope that the Rangers can make that happen. Genuinely. Appreciate the comment. Thank you. All right. Beyond that, let's go through just a couple other notable things from the box score. We've sung Robertson and Yates' praises. Those guys need to be in the All-Star game. Kirby Yates, 0.86 ERA, 13 for 13 in save opportunities. He's got 2 holds to add on to that. Only 1 loss to his name. I believe that was a tie game he came into. Kirby Yates has been nearly perfect this season. He deserves to be in the All-Star game. Robertson as well. 18th hold for Robertson, which is as good as a save in my book. Those guys are incredible. They need to be All-Stars. We need more than just Marcus Semien in the All-Star game at this point. Now, in the box score, we had Langford going 0 for 3 with the walk today. He was replaced by Jankowski for defensive reasons. Although, look, Wyatt Langford has been holding his own defensively. But I understand Jankowski is an above-average defender. I get it. Jonah Heim, 1 for 4 today. Can we get 1 for 4 from Heim the rest of the season? I'll take that. Leody Taveras, 2 for 2 with the walk. Leote is really coming around ever since they made the decision to just start Leote against right-handers only. It has worked miracles for that guy. Leote has been a different ball player after the Rangers made a conscious decision to stop hitting him against lefties. Leote, last 7 games, is hitting 400. 400 in his last 7 games. That's crazy. And look, I've been hard on Leote this entire season, but the Rangers made a decision. We're no longer going to be hitting Leote against lefties. Leote Taveras is hitting 192 against lefties this year. So you can see why they decided to make the move. But Leote is hitting 8 for 20 his last 7 games with 3 RBI. Leote has 4 walks to 1 strikeout in his last 7 games. That is incredible. 4 walks and 1 strikeout in his last 24 plate appearances. He's a new man since they decided to platoon him. And it was something that I said that they needed to do. Now, I got it wrong. I said maybe you platoon him with somebody else when there's a lefty up. But it was actually the other way around. Leote actually hit over 300 against lefties last year. And he's just flip-flopped. I have no idea how to explain that. I looked up the stats. Leote against lefty starters last year hit over 300. So the drop-off, I don't know how you explain that, but it's flip-flop. Leote can't hit lefties this year. He did it last year, can't do it this year. Ever since they decided to just hit him exclusively against righties, he has been a new ball player. Give Leote his props. The man is hitting 400 in his last 7 games, and he has reached base in 12 of his last 24 plate appearances. Guy has a 500 OBP over his last 7 games. Huge reason why the Rangers have been winning games. We got to give Leote credit because I have railed on Leote over the course of this year when he has been doing absolutely nothing for us. And right now, he is doing a whole lot of something for us right now. Give credit to the coaches. We talked about Bruce Bochy, the moves we didn't agree with today. One move that he's made that has worked absolute wonders has been the decision to platoon Leote. And the stats don't lie. The numbers don't lie. He's been a new man since being a platoon guy, and I hope that he can keep this up. It's a lot of fun to watch Leote do well. He's got a ton of talent, a ton of potential. I'm glad to see it come into full fruition in this stretch. I just hope he can keep it up. We all know how streaky Leote can be. Let's be consistent. And I even said, if Leote can even just go 1 for 4, or how about this? Just get on base 1 in 4 plate appearances. If he can do that, I will take it from the bottom of the order, guys. 100%. All right, and then let's take a look here. Ornelas goes 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, not his best game. We did talk about Kisner. The RBI he had, a little bit fortunate, I would say. He did look very, very ugly in the bottom of the 7th inning up at the plate. It's a hard watch for Kisner sometimes. I know that he's just a backup catcher, and as Dallas Morning News Rangers writer Evan Grant said so eloquently, you don't win World Series with backup catchers. You really don't. So being hard on Andrew Kisner, he's a little bit of an easy target. I'm not a huge Andrew Kisner fan myself. And the Rangers did DFA. I don't know if DFA is the best terminology. They released Andrew Knapp, who was having a really good season down in AAA. So the Rangers just decided Kisner's the guy. He's going to be the guy. Now, will they potentially look for somebody in the trade market like they did last year with Hedges? I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that. I don't love Andrew Kisner in the backup catcher role, but it is true. You're not going to win World Series with backup catchers. Now, do they make a difference over the course of 162 games? Yes. And Andrew Kisner has been seeing some playing time of late. For me, I don't love Andrew Kisner as the backup catcher, but I think the Rangers have decided he's the guy. So I think we kind of got to deal with it. But Kisner has been a little bit of a brutal watch, both up at the plate and then trying to throw runners out. And as we've already had put in the comments, Kiz has only thrown out one guy in a lot of attempts. I mean, we looked up Jonah Heim stats. Let me do Kisner's right now for y'all. Let me see what Andrew Kisner is doing for his percentage. It's not going to be pretty. So Andrew Kisner, in his percentage, he is, looks like, it says he has 2 caught stealings. This is Baseball Ref. It says 2 caught stealings. I can only think of one, but there have been 2 caught stealings in 18 attempts, 11%. So Heim is at 15 and Kisner's at 11. I mean, look, I have no idea what the second caught stealing was. I can only remember the one. I don't know. Anyways, let me get to this comment here. At this point, if we get to the 8th inning with the lead, Robertson and Yates are money. My confidence is super high. I totally agree. And the blueprint for the Rangers to win this year is get an early lead. The starter goes 5 or 6 innings strong with a quality start, and then you hand it off to Robertson and Yates. If you can get the game to the 8th inning with a lead, the Rangers are going to win. The Rangers are going to win. It's simple. It's a really simple formula. It's just about getting there. The Rangers have not done well coming from behind this year. This is like their 3rd or 4th win coming from behind when they trail in the 7th inning or later. So the formula, the recipe for Rangers wins, get the game to the 8th inning with a lead. This isn't a team that is blowing out a lot of other teams. They have had some nice wins of 4 or 5 runs or more, but it feels like the recipe is have a 1, 2, or 3 run lead going into the 8th inning, hand it over to your all-star relievers, and call it a day. So I agree. I have huge confidence. I really don't even worry when those guys come in. I mean, I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want any jinxes here, but my worry is 0 when Robertson and Yates take the ball. Robertson has blown some games this year. I think he has 5 blown saves or blown opportunities, blown leads. So Robertson hasn't been perfect. Now, Yates is a different story. If we have a lead with Kirby Yates in the 9th inning, I really don't even sweat it. It does not matter who the other team has coming up. We watch Kirby Yates carve up the Dodgers. We watch Robertson carve up the Dodgers. I mean, y'all can't forget that back-to-back, Betts, Ohtani, Freeman that Robertson pulled off. I really don't worry at all when we have a lead going into the 8th inning. They're probably going to close it out. It's a huge luxury to have. We didn't really have it last year. The Rangers blew over 30 save opportunities last year. I think this year, I don't know how many blown saves it is technically. Like, for example, Latz gets a blown save today, and that was Latz's 3rd blown save. So I don't know how many blown saves total the Rangers have this year. That's another deep dive stat I would have to look up. Let me see if I can get it for y'all while I'm chatting. But I think it's a lot less on the pace that we were on last year. I mean, I think at this point last year, we were probably over 15 blown saves easily. Could be wrong, but let me see if I can actually get it here. I don't know if it's going to be easy all on the fly, but we're going to try. But if I had to imagine, it's a lot better than what it was last year. It's not coming up for me easily, y'all, so I apologize. I'm getting everything but blown saves at this point. So if any of y'all can get it for me, I'll see if I can figure it out later on. But let me go ahead and start looking towards the pitching matchup for tomorrow, Evo against Littell. And then we will go around the AL West. We'll do AL West roundup, AL West standings, all that good stuff. And then we will call it a day. And right now, looks like for tomorrow's game, we have a few career numbers that some Rangers have against the Rays starter. We'll go through those with you here briefly. We just got our technology a little bit behind our talking right now. My computer's being just a little bit slow on me, but here we go. We got it pulled up for you now. So each team, there are a few guys that have some numbers here. So a few notables for the Rangers. Kisner, funny enough, 2 for 3 in his career versus Littell with a bomb. And Tavares, 1 for 1 against Littell with a bomb. So maybe Leote is fixing to have a big day tomorrow. We'll see. Seager is 1 for 2. Lowe is 1 for 2. Semien is 1 for 6 from what it looks like. I don't think we'll see Robbie Grossman tomorrow. Dolly is 0 for 3. So for anybody hoping Dolly was maybe going to get off the schneid tomorrow, I don't think it's going to happen. And then on the flip side, quite a few Rays with some significant at-bats against Evo. Arozarena is like 2 for 19 career against Evo. Yandy Diaz is, I think, about 3 for 20. Brandon Lau is, these are ugly numbers, y'all. I think he's like 4 for 24 with the homer. There is really nobody on the Rays that hits Evo well at all. There's one guy, the shortstop, Walls, who's 1 for 2. Rortvet, the catcher, is 1 for 2. Caballero is 1 for 3. Guys, everybody else has pretty ugly numbers against Evo. So it is a prime opportunity, I think, tomorrow to get a sweep. We've got some guys with decent numbers against Littell. Evo has, by and large, dominated the Rays, at least the batters that the Rays have currently on the roster. I think it's a great opportunity tomorrow to go get a sweep. So my money's on a sweep tomorrow. I'm feeling very confident. I'm not sitting here and calling it, but I feel very confident about the Rangers getting a sweep tomorrow, and that would make it 4 games in a row, little winning streak. You go into Anaheim with all the confidence in the world, closing out the homestand, ready to hopefully win another series out in LA. Would love to see it. I think the Rangers have a huge opportunity tomorrow with your ace on the mound, with your offense not totally clicking, but with your offense getting the big hits when you need it. So back-to-back games, you had Corey Seager, Nate Lowe with 2 out RBIs. That was yesterday, and that was the difference in the ball game. And you've got Marcus Semien with a huge clutch 2 out RBI, 2-run homer to give the Rangers the win today. So look, is the offense humming right now? No. But is the offense getting big hits when they need it? Yes. And sometimes that's all you need. So hopefully we'll keep the good momentum going tomorrow, get a win, get a sweep, and head out on a happy flight to LA. That's the plan. Let's check the AL West and let's see what everybody else around the league is doing. So today, a few games have gone final. The A's absolutely crushed the Orioles 19-8 today out in Oakland. Where did that come from? My goodness. A's win 19-8 out in Oakland. Mariners drop a game to the Jays, 5-4 in Seattle. Jays are able to get the win. Seattle is not in a good way right now. They have been on a little bit of a losing streak their last 10 games. So the Rangers do gain a game in the division on the Mariners. The Astros lose 9-3 to the Twins today in Minneapolis. We already talked about the Angels getting a win in Chicago, 7-0 over the Cubs. By and large, though, it's a great day to be a Rangers fan, isn't it? I mean, you get a Rangers win, you get an Astros and a Mariners loss, and the 2 teams behind you get a win, but we're not too worried about them. So let's go to the standings right now. It's still not pretty, but it's better than yesterday. It's better than yesterday. So the Rangers, 7 games back of the Mariners in the division, 5 games back of the Astros for second place, 7.5 games out of a wild card spot. So again, Rangers have a better shot to win the division than they do to get a wild card spot at this moment in time. It is what it is. The Angels are 3.5 games back of the Rangers in third place. So look, that series out in Anaheim is going to be a big series. I'm not taking it lightly, y'all. We drop 2 out of 3. We get swept by the Angels. They're neck and neck with us in the division. And that would be almost a death sentence for the Rangers season, in my opinion. You have got to go out and win a series in Anaheim at minimum. If the Rangers go out and lose 2 out of 3 in Anaheim, it's not good. I don't want to say that the Rangers season is done, but it is darn near close to a death sentence going out and losing 2 out of 3 in Anaheim. You got to go out and win some ball games in California. And then the A's are 8 games back of the Rangers in third place, 15 games out of the division. The Mariners have lost 6 of their last 10. Rangers, same, have lost 6 out of their last 10. But the Rangers, 2-game winning streak here. We'll take it. I know they say a winning streak doesn't count until it gets to 3. I don't even care about that. It's a winning streak. 2 games in a row. Let's make it 3 tomorrow. And then headlines around the league. Let's check it out. See if there's anything notable to report about. We watched Boston just absolutely get their teeth kicked in by the Yankees, 14-4 earlier today. Rice, the Yankees rookie, had, I think, 3 homers. It was a pretty cool moment. He hit his 3rd homer, no doubter, and the Yankees fans gave him a standing ovation. Look, you guys know, and no Rangers fan is a huge Yankees fan, but it's fun seeing guys, especially rookies, have moments like that in the league. So if you get a chance to watch the highlights, Yankees rookie Rice has 3 homers in 1 game against the Red Sox. Huge moment for him. It was fun watching that. Beyond that, looks like we got the Brew Crew and the Dodgers on national TV. Was a pretty good game. I don't know who got the win last night. I know Rhys Hoskins hit the grand slam last night. The Dodgers came back and won that game. Hoskins grand slam put them up 5-4. Dodgers came back and won 8-5. So that's a pretty good National League matchup. I think we'll probably tune into that one a little bit. Did y'all hear about, I know I talked about it on the live yesterday, but Miranda for the Twins, Jose Miranda, tied the MLB record for 12 consecutive hits in 12 at-bats. I don't think he got 13. He lined a pitch that landed just foul down the right field line, and then he was retired on a flyout to left field, so he didn't get the MLB record. But Jose Miranda tied the Major League Baseball record for most hits in a row and consecutive at-bats with 12. That is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So props to Jose Miranda. What a streak that is. What's his average at now? And look, he did it in a Twins win, a Houston Astros loss. I love him even more. Congrats to Jose Miranda. His average is up to 328 on the season. My goodness, 901 OPS for Jose Miranda, Twins third baseman. Good for him. Good for him. Absolutely. Let me see. The Nats' big prospect, top prospect, James Wood, number 2 MLB prospect, goes Oppo for his first Nats home run. Good for him. And then beyond that, we don't have a ton else to discuss. By the way, Andrew Heaney, was it 1,000th strikeout? Was that what it was? 1,000 strikeout? Good for him. I thought I saw that. Milestone strikeout for Andrew Heaney today. Doesn't look like he quite made the front page, but you know what? Front page in our book here at Right On Rangers. Andrew Heaney, a great start today. Believe he notched his 1,000th strikeout. There we go. And I think that's all the news from around the league for you today. We're looking forward to going live tomorrow, hopefully after a Rangers win and sweep of the Rays. We'll watch some more baseball tonight. Looks like Milwaukee is up 1-0 on the Dodgers on Fox. That's the national game tonight. Everything's better on a Saturday after a Rangers win and an Astros loss. It just is. I'm hoping that y'all have a great rest of your Saturday night. I appreciate you joining us here. Hey, if you're watching, whether you're live or on the replay, you haven't followed, you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. That way you can keep up with all of our latest and greatest content here at Right On Rangers. and you can get notified every time we go live. And hey, if you know somebody who's a big baseball fan who loves the Texas Rangers, tell them about the channel. Tell them to follow, tell them to come and watch, be a part of what we're doing here. I started this as just a way to talk Rangers baseball with people all over the country and the world, and that's what we got going on here. So help us grow, help me grow this community. Share one of my videos, tell them about the channel. I would be greatly appreciative. So thank you so much, and thank you to everybody that commented today. It really helps keep the show going, makes it more interesting. So again, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Hopefully you can join us tomorrow or on the replay. And if I don't see you the rest of the weekend, have a good one. Hope to catch you again after another Rangers game. Hopefully a Rangers win. And as I always say at the end of every show, God bless, go Rangers,